LAIF. Liberal arts for everyone. How to live in a world without justice? Learn the Ivy League answer through Columbia's Core, a solution-oriented approach to the human soul. Course outline. Section 0. Introduction. What justice demands of the soul. Section 1. What is justice? Section 2. The roots of liberal arts. Section 3. A philosophy for the soul. Section 4. Justice, virtue, and the moral soul. Section 5. Liberal arts and the Western legacy. Section 6. The gravity of the soul. Section 7. Downloading the Moral Gravity Program. Section 0. How this course can help you live more clearly, deeply, and justly. Welcome to Section 0. In this section, you will discover why liberal arts education still matters, especially in a world where justice feels lost. You'll meet your instructor and learn how his journey from elite sports to global consulting to philosophy has led to one key insight. True justice begins not in politics, but in the soul. This section sets the stage for everything to come. Let's begin. Before we begin, take a breath. Forget what you think justice means. Forget politics. Forget headlines. This is about you and your soul.
Who I am and why I made this course. Hello and welcome. My name is Soichi Nakamura. I'm a political philosopher and the founder of LAIF, Liberal Arts for Everyone. I studied philosophy at Columbia University and graduated as an honor student. During my time there, I began to see how education, real education, shapes not just the mind, but the soul. Earlier in my life, I was the top-ranked tennis player in Japan. I competed in the same international tournaments as Pat Cash, Guy Forget, and other future stars. I played at Roland Garros, Wimbledon, and the Australian Open, 3 of the 4 Grand Slam championships. I was scheduled to play the US Open as well, but had to withdraw due to scheduling issues. I even reached world number 7 as a junior. I went on to work as a global consultant. I became the youngest Japanese partner at KPMG, one of the world's largest firms. I learned what leadership looks like and where it breaks down without character. Through every chapter of my life, one truth has become clear. Character is not given, it must be formed. That is why I turned to liberal arts education, and in Japan, I became one of its early pioneers, bringing the liberal arts out of elite institutions and into the lives of ordinary people. Along the way, my books have become bestsellers in Japan and have been widely translated and introduced in other countries, including China. This journey has shown me something simple but profound. People everywhere are searching for clarity, for meaning, for moral confidence. Today, I teach at the university level, lead seminars for professionals, and mentor the next generation of educators through LAIF, Liberal Arts for Everyone. And that's why I created this course, not to teach information, but to guide the formation of your soul. LAIF is a movement, not for grades or status, but for the soul. We teach the 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice, and the love that completes them, agape. This course is not information, it is formation of your character, of your conscience, of your soul. Let's begin. The world is changing fast, but our sense of justice, virtue and truth is falling behind. How do we stay grounded in a time of chaos? How do we make better decisions for ourselves, our communities and the future? This course gives you an answer. Not just any answer, but the same foundation that has shaped generations of Ivy League students. There is a book that stands like a second Bible in the Western intellectual tradition, Plato's Republic, written around 380 BC. It begins with a conversation between Socrates and his companions, Adimantus and Glaucon, the elder brothers of Plato himself. In Book 2, the brothers raise a troubling point. Isn't justice just a compromise, a mutual agreement not to harm one another just to avoid being harmed ourselves? Socrates nods. Yes, that's one way it appears. But then they ask more deeply, isn't justice something greater, something noble, beautiful and good in itself? Doesn't it bring blessings both to the one who possesses it and to everyone around them? This is the real beginning of the Republic, not just a theory of justice, but a search for its soul. Three, from revolution to regression. Centuries later, the ideals of justice inspired revolutions in France, in America, in the founding of liberal democracies. These were remarkable achievements built on the idea of the social contract, the kind of justice Plato's brothers first described. But here lies the problem. We stopped at the compromise. We never got to the truth Socrates pointed toward. We built our societies on defensive justice, but not yet on true justice. This course is about that missing step, the deeper kind of justice, the one that begins inside the soul. Liberal arts is not about memorizing facts, it's about forming habits, habits of self-examination, reflection, and ethical action. That's why this course is not simply education, it is formation. Formation of your character, formation of your conscience, formation of your soul. Education is not the filling of a vessel, but the turning of the soul toward the light, attributed to Plato. The entire soul must be turned around from the world of becoming to the world of being. Plato, Republic, Book 7, Allegory of the Cave. Imagine living your whole life inside a cave, only seeing shadows on the wall. That's how most people live, chasing images, not truth. But once someone steps into the light, they can never go back. This timeless idea will guide everything we explore in the chapters ahead. This course is based on Columbia University's core curriculum, one of the oldest and most respected liberal arts programs in the world. It draws from timeless texts and ideas, Plato's questions, Christ's love, Aristotle's virtues, the moral visions of modern thinkers. You'll learn how to understand justice beyond politics, evaluate your character using the 4 cardinal virtues, bridge classical wisdom with real-life choices, reconnect education with meaning and purpose. This is not just education, it is soulcraft. Thank you for being here. What you are about to learn is what Ivy League students have studied for generations and what the world desperately needs to recover today. You are not just here to learn something new, you are here to remember something eternal. In the final section, you will see how all of this comes together through a powerful method we call the Moral Gravity Program. You'll learn how to examine your own soul, recognize the universal pull of virtue and love, and begin to live with moral clarity, even in a chaotic, AI-driven world.
Humanity has risen before, in the name of liberty, against tyranny, for the right to speak, to vote, to choose. These were great victories. But victory does not mean fulfillment. We built free nations, but something is still missing. Over time, these systems became something else: a shield, a mask, a limit. Not just in politics, in companies too. We build compliance frameworks, harassment policies, risk protocols. But they don't make us feel free. They make us feel watched. The sense of emptiness is everywhere, not just in politics, not just in institutions, but in families and in individuals. Because something deeper is missing. Justice is no longer a virtue of the soul. It has become a system, a negotiation, a performance. We have built great gates, gates of law, of reason, of order. But the soul stands outside. Now the question is, do we dare to enter? To go beyond the structures we've built and look for the harmony within, because the soul is not a theory. It is the part of us that longs, not just for rules or rewards, but for meaning, for beauty, for truth, for love. The soul is not an idea. It is who you are when no one is watching. And this course is your invitation to walk through that gate. Not blindly, but with the wisdom of those who came before us. With Plato, who showed us the justice of the soul and the idea of a moral republic. With Aristotle, who taught us the virtues and the practical reason to live them. With Christ, who lived the love that completes all virtue, agape. Step by step, toward justice, toward love, toward the soul you were meant to become. And in the final chapter, Section 7, you will learn how to live this way, not just in theory, but in daily life, by aligning with the gravity of your soul and living with virtue, clarity, and purpose, even in the age of AI. What this section has shown us. Let's take a moment to reflect. In this section, we learned that the crisis of justice is not just political, it's personal. We were reminded that character must be formed, not assumed, and that education is not just about knowledge, but about the moral foundation of who we become. You now have a clear sense of where this journey begins. In the next section, we'll look at where it all started, in myth, in poetry, and in the earliest search for truth. But you don't need to follow the course in strict order. If you're curious about the practical applications, or want to see how everything comes together, feel free to jump ahead to Section 7, Downloading the Moral Gravity Program. Many learners find it inspiring to begin with the end, and then return with deeper insight. This journey is yours. Begin wherever your soul is ready.